Hey everybody, and welcome back. In the last video we looked at songs and arrangement view um, and the reflow, which is important. But today we're going to look at macros um, and what they do, where to put them, how to understand them, why are they important, that kind of thing. And macros very simply are a group of actions that are all put into a single button press in a way. So if you look over right here, where that just changed, these are macros. And all of these macros have different functions. But the main things that they control are the stage lights and the look of the confidence monitor and the formatting of the confidence monitor. So sometimes it'll clear stuff, it'll send looks also to the live stream, which is a little bit more complicated, but you don't really need to. The goal for macros is you not having to understand what exactly the macros do or how to make the macros do what they do, but for the macros to just work and for you just to know which macro you need to use for which situation. So first let's look at and this is where the projector view and the confidence monitor view above me will really help. So the first macro you need to know is the simplest macro is the dark macro. Also is the pre-service macro. So I'll turn the camera to the stage for a second. You'll see it's nice and lit up like normal. If I come and I click the dark macro, then the stage lights are going to go down. And this macro is just made to change the stage lights. As you can tell, it doesn't change anything the projector or the confidence monitor. It just makes it dark. I would mostly use this for video. There's also a video macro that I probably made off the dark macro that will show the video. Let me get back to a normal one. We'll probably change it to, doesn't change it that much. But this is just a different version of the dark macro, and that changes the lights. Then let's come up and so the ones that you need to know the most, or you'll use the most often, is song chord setup. So it will change the look of this. So the projector looks the same, but now as you go through, there's chords on the confidence monitor for the band. If you use song setup, it won't have that. It'll just have the words. If you use song setup long text, it will. That's more for worship nights when we use it for just seeing the words. There's no chords. I just want everybody to see the words, and there's going to be a big block of text. But I also want to be able to see it on the back monitor in case I forget the words. That's really the only time I use song setup long text. Maybe for, I believe it might be what I use for worship elements, but you shouldn't have to worry about that in theory. I can check real quick. For this, if I go here, remove action, song setup long text. So yeah, I do use it for verses, because verses have a lot of words on them, so I put that macro on it. And then there's chord song setup. Song dark is probably the same outlook. Yeah, it's this, but it's just dark in case I want the back screen to look the same, but I want it to be dark up there. And then chord setup is the classic one. So this shouldn't be necessary because all of the songs that have chords should already have this macro on them. But if they don't, if you're making a new song, you want to put on chord song setup. So the basic outlook for those is just current slide lyrics on the top, next slide lyrics on the bottom, and chords if chords are involved. And all the blue ones are for songs mainly. And then we come to these. We have the mic sermon setup, full slide, and slides. I don't remember exactly what slides. Slides are just slides side to side. Full slide is the full look of the slide and what's on the monitor. accidentally hit the macro. But this is more used for Akka or conferences. I think I built this one for either Ronnie doing something or for an event where they wanted to see the whole slide in the background. So if you go here to this slide and then I click full slide, then they will see the full slide if they don't need to know what's coming before or after. And so Mike's sermon has a couple of interesting things. It has a clock in the middle. It has a timer countdown, so he knows how long he's been talking and when he needs to stop talking. And that is important to put on. We don't have sermon slides in here, but when you get sermon slides and you put sermon slides on there, I like to put the macros on the first slide of the of whatever group it is, because you're gonna hit that slide, and you should always hit the first slide of the group because it changes the background. And so for new members, I'm gonna use Akka because it feels more of an Akka thing. So I'm gonna put the Akka one, and what the Akka one does is it gives you 2 slides up top. You see the current slide and you see the next slide. And then what it does is, if we go to Akka, it has notes beneath it. So you'll see new member welcome, prayers, shoe drive with some information on the shoe drive, capture the flag with information on capture the flag, baptism class, harvest students, all that kind of stuff. And so Akka will do that. Pre-service is, I believe, a dark version of that. So if you see pre-service, it'll make it dark. If I go Akka, it will change the lighting. If I go Mike's sermon, I think it will change the lighting a little slightly. I don't like the lights to be too crazy, like a light show, so I usually keep it kind of simple. And that's all it is. It's really just knowing what to put in front of what. 9 times out of 10, you won't have to worry about this. The one time you absolutely have to worry about this is with Mike's sermon. Because I'll show the live stream computer real quick. So it sends different NDI over to the live stream computer. So I think the best way to show it is probably with a song. So it's a song. So if it's on any of the song setups, it will send the lower third that you can see right here to the live stream. But if I go to Akka, it will send the full slide. If I go to Mike sermon, it will also send the full slide. So it's important to set that up so that you don't kind of give yourself more trouble on the live stream side of things. And the only time that shouldn't be set up is if there's something new, or if it's just sermon slides, because the first sermon slide gets deleted, and so it doesn't have that macro on it. But that's really all you need to know about macros. There's actions behind macros, but you don't really need to know that because they should be set up for you to operate them. And if they're not, you should just call me, because it gets really in the weeds with a lot of stage display stuff that we might talk about later, but isn't something that you really need to know. So yeah, next we'll talk about editing the edit slide view, and how that works for chords and how that works for notes for Akka.